You may need to adjust your audio's, your world volume. Mine's at 80. But the thing that seemed to help most people when we got playing videos was to put their volume, their main volume at the top of your volumes over to 125. And you may find the mic a bit loud, but you will hear what the video is saying. Anyway, that's what we learned yesterday.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you for the amazing world tour yesterday. Yesterday, we visited a bunch of Altspace worlds that were ported into Vrchat, which was incredible. Which was, I don't know, I think I didn't have the trigger down. I said it was incredible. I would also encourage any of you guys to take photographs, videos, whatever you want, so that way we can all remember this together. Okay, and I see Romila has just joined, so hopefully she'll hurry on down so we can get this started. Okay, so I just wanted to say welcome. This is the second anniversary of the shutdown of Altspace. We recently renamed the world from Altspace Memorial World, because Memorial sounds really sad. So we decided to change the name to Altspace Legacy Venue, because this is a living world. We're doing incredible things here thanks to people like Inky and Steve. They're here, like they actually have helped with like putting on, like sharing like the releases of these amazing videos they put on. We've had the weekly world hops with Jim, and there's other things that are going on. And so this is a very dynamic, great place that we've built. Timo and I, my amazing co-world builder, have built for you guys so that we can always gather together as our community. So I wanted to talk just very briefly about the history of Altspace VR. We know that there was actually 2 shutdowns. There was one in 2017. I was not there for that, but that was probably just as an emotional event for them and for those of you who were there as it was for those of us who were in the 2023 shutdown. As you all know, the official shutdown happened around 1:08 p.m. Eastern time. And we watched yesterday in Jim's community world tour. He started off by playing a bunch of videos that we have in the playlist about the last moments of Altspace, and watching that moment when people were talking and singing and just trying to hold on to that moment. And then all of a sudden, everybody just froze like statues. And then all of a sudden, we got that message that said, "We're so sorry." So all of us were there. And by the way, some people in this room actually weren't even from Altspace, but now are part of our Altspace community because they share similar, dreams of being in a community that's positive and supportive. So I'm super grateful that we are all here together. Just one second here. So who are we now? We are now this incredible, very alive community where, like I shared, we have all these different events going on. We support each other through happy moments and sad moments. And it's just incredible that we're getting this momentum. People who couldn't find us last year are starting to find us this year. So you may look around the room and see some maybe familiar names, but maybe different avatars and things like that. So we're bringing our community back together again. And slowly by slowly, we're all gathering together as this tribe of amazing Altspace VR Altspacers. So it's very, very exciting. So I wanted to also acknowledge the fact that it's not just that there's more people coming together in our community that are finding us again, but there's been a tremendous amount of work and love going into actually building even more new things within Vrchat that weren't in Altspace. I want to acknowledge there's all these world builders in the room right now and content creators in the room, and they've continued this legacy of bringing forth that Altspace community spirit to make great things happen, like Nico and Inky and Steve and so many more of you. Like, I was super excited, Peter and Veronica, to see the basement come back. That was so exciting. I can't tell you. So, but it's not enough time to acknowledge everybody's additional efforts that they've brought into the Vrchat world so we can all enjoy again. But I just wanted to say a general thank you for continuing to bring back those Altspace worlds here, and also to continuing to build your own new innovative things so we can continue to grow as a community and continue the legacy of the spirit of Altspace. I also wanted to, sorry, I'm looking down at my notes here. I want to invite a special guest. Faye, where are you? Come on, Faye.
I'm right here.
So, many of you know who Faye is. She was an Altspace moderator, and she do things like sing and all kinds of wonderful things. And I wanted to bring her up on stage as somebody who was very much part of the Altspace community there, and ask her a few questions, just to kind of like, so she can help us from her perspective of what it was like in Altspace. So, I wanted to ask you first, what was it like being a community leader and a community moderator within Altspace? And I'm going to hand you the phone. You're going to have to hold on the trigger to hear your voice heard, okay?
Okay. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It was an amazing experience. I was able to see all of these groups of people form, from the beginning, and get closer and closer in the bonds that people started developing in Altspace with each other through exploration, through creation, and creating events and spaces and things like that. And it was amazing being there to help them, make sure that they're safe and heard, and try to really help bring that community together and grow it. And it was really exciting, and I was really, really happy to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the second question is, how did you start singing in Altspace? Because that became a thing. I'd like to hear more about that. What inspired you, and how did you decide what kind of songs to sing? And I mean, that was fun. We actually have a video on the playlist where you're singing. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Can you come with me for a second? I don't know how that happened. No, I just loved singing. It's fun, but I didn't ever really sing in the campfire until my friend Ollie came, and he was always wanting to do duets together, and I'd join in. But I was always in open mic nights and things like that. Just like a lot of people, loved doing Disney songs. It was definitely fun. But yeah, singing has just always been something that makes me happy. And it's a kind of a beautiful place to sing in the campfire. Imagine just sitting in front of the campfire with everybody just sitting and relaxing. It's nice.
Mm-hmm. Hello?
And how did you feel about the shutdown of Altspace? What was that like from your perspective? Tell us about your journey with that.
My journey with that is that we've had 2 shutdowns, like you were talking about, and the first one was absolutely gutting because we had not had anything like that, and everything was going so strongly, and we were all so happy. And then to get that news was just so heartbreaking for everybody. And going through that, and then having it be saved was sort of a miracle. And we got some more time, and we were able to continue and build. And then the news of the second one happened, and it was really scary because we didn't want to lose each other, because we had built up so many of these relationships throughout time, and we didn't want to lose each other. So it was a scramble to make sure that we had contact, and set up Discords and Facebook groups and things like that, so that we would not lose each other. I'm really glad that we have a place like this to come, and other social platforms to come and reconnect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What did Altspace teach you personally?
Personally, it changed my life so dramatically personally, if we're just talking about me as a person. I completely went from a introverted person who was part of the community, who barely talked to anybody, who just kind of stayed by herself doing, my normal job of technical support in my life, to joining the community and becoming technical support and moderation support for them. But that brought me out of my shell. And I've talked to a lot of people that this happened too, that they started feeling confidence to talk to other people because they were in social VR and they had this mask in front of their head, the headset, so people could not, have judgment. And it brought them out of that. And a lot of people connected with people and made really amazing friends. And I did. And I actually moved in with those amazing friends and completely started a completely new life because of Altspace. Of course, it was a career, but it was everything in my heart too.
Well, speaking of, actually, do you mind just sharing, I know we're going to have a moment later for everybody else to get up on stage and talk about, their memories in Altspace VR and also their new memories here in Vrchat. But would you mind sharing with us now, a happy memory, a personal happy memory, a specific story of a moment that happened in Altspace for you? And then also, and we'll just start there because I know that you're mostly in another platform, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But just talk, if you'd be willing to share a story of a moment, a happy or funny moment you had in Altspace, that would be great.
Of course. Well, this goes back to the first shutdown, which you wouldn't think would be a happy story, but it was a beautiful story. So after we had a big party in the campfire for the shutdown, and we were waiting for the servers to shut down the first time, we all went to the exhibition hall together, and we were watching videos, and we were all singing karaoke and just waiting for that shutdown to happen. And a thing came out on Twitter that said, "I think we're going to keep the lights on a little bit longer." And we were all like, "What does that mean? Do we get to keep Altspace?" And so we were just in a state of limbo for hours and hours. And when it kind of rolled around 5 a.m. for me, we were all just staying there because we were waiting for news. We wanted to know what happened. Bruce hadn't came in to come talk to us yet. And we were up on the hillside where the trees have all of the leaves falling down. And there were a bunch of us gathered there. There's some of you in this room who were with me. And there were a bunch of us gathered there, and we were listening to Buzzy playing his ukulele underneath the tree. And he did not want to have us look at him. He said, I won't play this unless you're not looking at me. So we all turned away. We made him turn towards the other way. And a lot of us just decided to just kind of kick back, relax, and put our heads back. And the leaves were falling on our heads. And while we were listening to Buzzy play the ukulele song and sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. That's my happy memory. After all of that chaos, after all of that stress and everybody being so upset, we had that beautiful happy memory. And then moments after that, Bruce came and talked to us and told us that this was looking like to be a real thing and just to hang tight. We finally went to sleep for the night. But yeah, that's my story here. Did we lose you, Serene? Oh no, we lost Serene.
She's gone.
Do you want to take it,
Now she
Callahan?
has to tell the story again.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, you
sure.
go
I've
for
got
it.
the
You
mic
gotta take
for
it.
you right here.
He needs a oh, sorry. He needs a
There you
okay.
go.
I don't. Hi there. Can everybody hear me? Because I'm on
Yes.
PC, so I'm not sure. Am I holding it?
Sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Is it triggered?
Yeah,
Thank you.
yes, yep, yes,
Uh,
yes.
So Serene has the list. So I don't know what she has planned next for interviews, but thank you so much, Faye. Can we give the lady the applause that we can do here? Let her know that she's loved. I don't know what additional questions she had, so when she gets back, she'll be able to tell us.
Rebecca.
I want to thank you all for being here.
Oh my God, hi. Hi.
You know how it is. It's always technical things with all of us here. I hope everybody is spawning in and having a good time. It just turns out that the people who actually know what's going on are mostly in the other instance. Sherry, anybody?
I got it.
Can somebody? Yeah. No, I have it. Not take the mic. Not take the mic. Just tell me. Just tell me. Or can you do me a favor? Talk inside the Discord to let them know what's going on in the other instance, because they don't know. And what is it?
I was just going to have people start coming up and giving some of their favorite moments.